What if I told you giants once ruled the earth? Not myths, not fairy tales. Real giants born from an unholy union between angels and humans. These beings caused so much chaos, God had to erase them from history. But their secrets are still hidden in plain sight. Stay until the end. What you learn will change how you see everything. Today, we're diving into one of the most forbidden mysteries of the Bible, the Nephilim. Genesis 6:4 mentions them in just one vague verse. But ancient texts like the Book of Enoch claim they were monstrous hybrid giants who corrupted humanity. How did they rise to power? Why did God wipe them out? And could their DNA still exist today? Genesis 6:4 drops a bombshell. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, the heroes of old, men of renown. But who were they? Ancient Jewish texts say they stood 300 cubits tall, over 450 feet. Yet by Noah's flood they vanished. Or did they? Some scholars believe these sons of God were fallen angels, powerful beings who corrupted humanity by mixing their blood with mortals. And what happened next? Absolute chaos. Imagine a world overrun by beings with superhuman strength, unmatched intelligence, and a thirst for power. According to ancient texts, the Nephilim ruled over mankind like gods, leading humanity into extreme wickedness. They built massive structures, some say the pyramids, even ancient megaliths, before their empires collapsed into bloodshed and darkness. Before the flood, fallen angels called Watchers descended to earth. They taught humans forbidden knowledge, war, sorcery, even how to manipulate DNA. But their biggest sin, taking human wives and creating the Nephilim. These hybrids weren't just tall, they were violent, cannibalistic, and nearly unstoppable. Ancient historians like Josephus wrote they were a race of tyrants who enslaved mankind. Assyrian kings bragged about reading texts from before the flood. Even secular archaeology hints at a global cataclysm and a second wave of giants after. But here's what no one talks about. The Nephilim weren't just physical abominations. They corrupted humanity's spiritual DNA. Every thought, every action became pure evil. Genesis 6:5 says, "Every inclination of the human heart was only evil all the time." God's creation was infected, and he had only one solution: a global flood. But what happened to the Nephilim secrets? Did they all die? The answer will shock you. Ancient traditions say the sons of God in Genesis 6 were fallen angels who fathered the Nephilim. These hybrids weren't just tall, they were abominations, spreading violence and occult practices so vile, God had to reset humanity. Their existence was so dangerous, so corrupt, that God had no choice but to wipe them off the face of the earth. God's response was swift. The flood wasn't just about punishing sinful humans, it was about erasing the Nephilim, resetting the world, cleansing the corruption. Enter Noah, the only man left uncorrupted. God chose him to reboot humanity. The Nephilim story isn't about monsters, it's about choice. Every generation faces giants, addiction, despair, corruption. But like Caleb and Joshua, we're called to trust God's promise, not cower. So why does this matter today? Because the same evil that created the Nephilim is still at work. Some believe their influence still lingers today, in powerful elites, in shadowy organizations, even in modern genetics experiments. Could history be repeating itself? Are we seeing the return of the Nephilim? Think AI, genetic engineering, and the obsession with playing God. History is repeating itself, but this time, you hold the power to resist it. The flood proves God will always make a way for those loyal to him. Just like Noah, you're called to stand apart. The Nephilim story isn't about fear, it's about hope. No matter how dark the world gets, God's plan wins. Modern science laughs at giants. But the Bible warns, evil always finds a way back unless we fight. The flood was a reset. Jesus is the ultimate reset. If this video gripped you, smash like and subscribe. We're exposing more biblical secrets mainstream channels ignore. Comment below, what's your giant? Let's conquer them together.